Hi everybody, it is Haifa from Fufu's Kitchen, and today I'm going to be showing you a new video. This one is going to be a recipe, but it's also going to be a technical skill, and you're really going to impress your family with this one. I'm going to be showing you how to make some Za'atar knots, or you could even say braids or crowns, but it's going to be really beautiful. It's going to consist of 3 ingredients, and it's honestly so delicious. Come check out what you're gonna need. So here's my workstation. I have everything set up. This is what we're going to be making. I made some yesterday, just so you guys have a visual. You can see how beautiful they look. The za'atar peeks through. This is in the crown shape. This is more like a flower. So to make this, you could use ready-made crescent roll dough. So I have that ready to go. And I'll show you how to use the crescent roll dough to make this braid in today's video. You're going to need some olive oil, about 1 to 2 tablespoons of olive oil to just brush the dough with. And then of course, you're going to need the za'atar. This is the main star. And if you don't know what za'atar is, it's a Middle Eastern seasoning blend, a spice mix, you could say, that has different kinds of seasonings in one. So it has sesame seeds, it has oregano, it has thyme, it has sumac, which is another Middle Eastern spice, all mixed in one. And this is often used on bread, dipped with oil. Honestly, it's used in so many ways. It's very popular. So this is why I'm using it for today's rolls. Okay. So, like I said, this is going to be very technical. I'm going to show you some new techniques that you guys are going to love. You don't even need to use crescent roll dough. If you have a ready-made dough, you could use that dough, but you could just go to the supermarket and always grab a crescent roll and make this for your kids in no time, or for any guests that you might be having. All right, so let me show you how we're gonna do this. So in a crescent roll package, there's typically 8 crescent rolls, and then they're split like this. So if you come over here, you can see I'm gonna make 4 pieces out of the 8. So you're gonna divide it right there. We're gonna have 4 pieces. So I'm just gonna put 3 here, and let's work on this one. So I have a board here that is lightly floured, just so this doesn't stick too much to it, but it shouldn't be a problem. And you can see here that I'm kind of mending together the seams, because we want this to become one. We want these 2 crescent rolls to become one flat triangle. And what I'm gonna do now is I am just going to roll this out. So you just wanna roll it out a little bit. Okay, you can see the flour is doing its job. It's not sticking. So you just wanna roll it a little bit. Okay. Make sure all the seams are closed. Spread it out a little bit. And here you go. You have a nice triangle to work with. What you're going to do is lightly oil this. The crescent roll already has butter in it, but the oil with za'atar complements really well. It's traditionally how we eat it as Palestinians. My dad would honestly just grab oil and za'atar and some fresh bread, and that was his meal. So here's about a tablespoon of the za'atar mix that I'm just spreading out like so. All right, you guys with me so far? So now I'm going to start rolling this the long side first. So the longer side, you are just going to grab the ends just like this. You want to be gentle, but you also want to be quick. And if you see any seams opening, just kind of close them as you go. just like that. Plus, this is going to be rustic, so it's totally fine if some seams do open. It's just be easier for you if they don't. And then you just want to close up this seam as well. So I love making these, especially for brunch. They go really nice on a brunch platter, and it's super delicious with some cheese on the side or some eggs. And you could actually stuff this with cheese as well, and I'll show you in the next ones how. Okay, so once you have this log shape and the seam is in the back, okay, what we're gonna do is take our pizza cutter and we're just gonna go right down the center, just like so. And you see, this whole time I'm being very delicate. And you're gonna face the za'atar side up, so the filling side up. And now we're gonna do something like a twist or a braid, you could say. So just going like this, and you can see it's already becoming beautiful. And the first one I'm gonna show you is this design right over here. So that's what I'm doing right now. I am just twisting, and then I'm going to meet both ends. And you just wanna make sure that you close both ends. I'm just going to add a little bit of olive oil on top. And then this is done. Look how beautiful and how easy. It's just a few different steps to achieve this, and it's so worth it. So this is one design, and I'm just gonna put it on a baking pan with some parchment paper. Parchment paper will allow for the dough not to stick to the pan, and it's easy cleanup too at the end. All right, let's keep going. So we're gonna repeat this a few times. I'm going to do this one more time. So you could see right here that I am closing the seams. Then I'm going to roll it out a little bit, just to make it like a little bigger. Okay, and then you just do a little bit of olive oil. Let's say you wanted to do, and I've done this before as well, let's say you want to do like cream cheese. You could definitely slather some whipped cream cheese on here instead of the olive oil, and then put the za'atar on top of that. It's gonna make for a really delicious bite. So you could definitely do that. Or you could do it just like this, where you have the olive oil and the za'atar, and then you add like some crumbled feta pieces on top as well. So those are really good options if you want to incorporate za'atar. Okay, so back to what I was doing before. We are going to take the longer part, and we're just going to kind of help it, just like that. Just going to be very delicate, but it's so easy. See, just like so. Beautiful. See how the seams at the other side? We are just going to kind of do this, kind of make it like one. Okay. Now we are just going to use the pizza cutter. You could use a sharp knife as well, but I find a pizza cutter to be easier. So if you have that, definitely use that. We're gonna expose the sides of the fillings, and then we're going to do the braid. And right now I have my oven preheating to 375. As per the package instructions, the crescent roll needs to bake for about 10-12 minutes at 375. You will see it start to turn golden brown like so. That's how you know they're ready. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of olive oil on top. And there you go. Simple enough, right? Just make sure that the ends are really closed, or else they'll open a little bit when they're baking. And then add it to your pan. Now I'm gonna be showing you the other design, which is this one right here. This is kind of like a flower or a knot, you could say. Super simple. Basically, very similar steps. It's just the last step that's different. All right, so we're closing it up. And yeah, like I said, I'm using crescent roll dough because it's readily available in supermarkets. It'll make this so easy instead of you having to make your own dough. But let's say you did have extra pizza dough or whatever dough, you could definitely use it to make this. Why not? And this recipe is going to be on my website today at fufuskitchen.com. It will be up for you guys to check out, and I will link this video to the website as well with the recipe, so everything is easier to navigate. And I actually have a really great dough recipe on my website. I have two. One is called Easy Pizza Dough Recipe. I absolutely love that one. And then I have another one where it's called Muajanat Recipe, and it's the dough I typically use for Middle Eastern savory pies. Okay, so we're doing the same thing. Roll, roll, roll. You guys are getting the hang of it, right? Pretty simple. Okay. We're gonna do the same thing again. What's different about this one is how we make them meet. We're still gonna twist with the exposed sides. Just like that. Over, over. But instead of meeting now at the ends, we're going to kind of roll it in like so. See that? You have that like beautiful knot, flower, whatever you want to call it, but it's just so beautiful. Okay, so the difference was we rolled it inwards rather than let the ends meet. So I'm gonna add that to my parchment lined pan. Okay, and one thing I wanna know about crescent roll dough, you wanna work quick because this does start to get a little harder to work with, a little soft if you leave it out too long. So what you can do is actually, you keep it in the refrigerator till you're about to use it, or else you're not gonna be able to use it. It's gonna be way too hard to work with. Okay, some za'atar again. Oh, and za'atar, by the way, I should mention this. You could really find it at almost any supermarket nowadays. It's used pretty often, but definitely any Middle Eastern, Mediterranean, international food market would have za'atar. Even online, you could find za'atar. If you have a difficult time finding za'atar, please message me and I could, guide you to where you could get some if you don't find any at your local market. Okay. So you can see this recipe is so easy, yet it was the most requested one from my audience. They just want to learn, how do you make that look like that? And sometimes, that's just what you gotta show. It doesn't have to be any fancy recipe. It could just be something so simple like this that will really elevate your food. And like I said, you could do this. This is just a skill set. You could do this with other things as well. You could do this stuffed with Nutella or different cheeses, really whatever you want, but it just looks so much nicer. So you can see here that I have both ends. I'm not gonna let them meet like the first one. I am just going to rolling inwards, just like that. And then at the end, you wanna try to close it up so it doesn't open when you bake. And then just do a little coating of olive oil, just like that. Put it on your baking pan. And here are the 4 that we made that are going to bake in the oven right now, 375 for about 12 minutes. What I want to say about these is they are great to make the same day. So if you're having some people over in like an hour, for instance, make them perfect. Keep them in the oven, keep them warm. If you want them for the next day, you're just gonna have to rewarm them, whether you use the oven or the microwave, it'll be good to go. So I'm gonna pop these right now in my oven. Like I said, they're just gonna take about 12 minutes. But for the purpose of this video, I actually already have some made. I made some yesterday. And this is what they're gonna look like. And I actually had some yesterday too, like to eat, and they were so good, guys. Like I said, you could just pop these in the microwave for 30 seconds and they're gonna be nice and soft. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video today. I'll be posting the recipe as well today on my website, so definitely check it out. Thank you, guys.